Salute and thank you, NERDSoul. Oh yeah. Lay Ill Kid at OneYoungsta holding it down, bringing the Street Geek and NERDSoul. Like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell. Let's go. You've been resurrected. You've been born again by the renewing of your mind. You know what I'm saying? That's all we try to say. But of course, NERDSoul, we here to talk Daredevil, and we ain't by ourselves. We have right over here or over here. I don't know how Doom's going to do it, but we got Jay Shear, writer and director. Jay Shear, what's up?
Oh, it's good to be here. What's the last show we did together? We did something with
Did we talk about Dune?
we did something with Solar. No, we didn't do Dune. We talked, it must have been Lord of the Rings.
Rings of Power.
Rings of Power. Thank you.
Yeah. So Rings of Power. So, it's been a while. So we talked about Rings of Power and all that good stuff, but you have just finished watching the new episodes.
Mm-hmm.
If you could give me your initial reactions from the first two episodes, you just finished them, you're fresh. How you feeling?
Ooh. I don't know if I've been able to process it long enough to know how I feel about it. Because first of all,
oh boy,
Daredevil, the Netflix series, is one of my favorite shows of all time.
Yes.
It's one of my favorite shows of all time. I loved it. It's amazing. This does feel like it fits in that universe, but it also fits in the MCU. They're also dropping F-bombs, which is even new. They even went beyond Netflix. So I don't think we ever got one of those at Netflix.
Yeah.
So I there were moments that I really, really liked, and then there were moments that felt a little bit like an MCU show trying to elevate itself to be like the Penguin, but not quite getting to the Penguin level. So so it was a little bit like, okay, that was awesome. I really liked the way that the second episode ended. I thought that was amazing. But there was also some in the first episode. There was some like in the fight scene. You remember back in the day when we used to talk about Daredevil fight scenes, and they were like awesome, and they were filmed super cool.
Yes.
This felt a little bit like they were over CGing it, and then they had him doing some like the swinging through the city, and I'm like, it doesn't quite look right. I don't know. So I'm a little bit all over the page with this with these two episodes. What about you?
I can't remember who it was that posted, but right before I watched it, I saw something come across my Twitter timeline that somebody was like, this is peak Marvel television. And I was like, oh man, hey, look, I can't wait to press play. Yeah. And that opening scene.
Yeah.
Oh man. That open, it's weird because there's part of it that seems like somebody was trying to make the Netflix show.
Yes.
But it was kind of like a student film.
Yes.
But
I totally agree with you.
And that opening fight scene.
Yeah. Daredevil had the best fight scenes. You remember the hallway fight scene? Do you remember how awesome that hallway fight scene was?
This fight scene should have felt I don't know, like it mattered. Like it had some fight. I was just like, I don't care. When he was doing all the flipping around, I was like, no. Whose idea was this?
Yeah.
Like there was just like a groundedness that Marvel's shows on Netflix had that this one almost threw out immediately. Not that I didn't like plot points later, but the way this opened up, I was ready to throw this show out. Like the first, all up into the first opening credits where you have them kind of catching up and walking along and stuff. It seemed like the chemistry wasn't there anymore. They didn't seem, because remember, there's a lot of people that probably went back and watched all the shows in anticipation for this. And I didn't watch all the shows in anticipation for this immediately before, but I did go back and watch all of Marvel Netflix at the back half of last year. So it's kind of fresh. Jessica Jones is fresh. Luke Cage is fresh. Iron Fist is fresh. Punisher is fresh. Daredevil is fresh. Even Defenders. Before this show came out, I went and watched the finale of Defenders and the finale of Daredevil season 3. So kind of like a quick catch up.
Yeah.
And it felt bad. Like it felt like old friends trying to like kick it, but they didn't really mesh anymore.
Yeah.
Then that gelatin CGI movement.
Yeah, weird.
I did not like it. I did not like it. But then it's almost like after that, then they kind of settle into okay, we can kind of make this show. But that opening scene, it was a huge turnoff.
Yeah.
But during the first episode, they kind of start to pull it together. We'll get into story threads and stuff that I don't like and stuff like that. But that initial, it was rough for me. I was not pleased, and I was like, I know they said that Kevin Feige was like displeased with what he had initially and went back to the drawing board. I was like, they should have went back again because this opening scene is not working. It's just not working.
And to your point, you made a really good point about like it should matter. You know what I'm saying? Like, so like what it felt like, because I didn't go back and watch all the other shows like you did, right? Like I haven't seen anything.
I watched everything around October-ish, something like that.
Okay, perfect. So the last thing I had seen that I remember from like the new Marvel takes on Daredevil and Kingpin are the end of Hawkeye, which and then the end, and then the really awkward episodes of She-Hulk that had Daredevil in them.
And then you had Echo, which they did reference in this.
Oh, that's right, they did it. Yeah, so, Echo. I watched Echo too,
and he has the scar and stuff. So they're doing a decent job of trying to like bring it together.
Yes.
So, I got to give them that, but it just, they have all the money and then it's just like it's too polishy.
Yes. And to that note, that's a really good note. It feels to me like we could have had an entire first episode where we are reconnecting with Foggy and we're reconnecting with Karen and we're reconnecting with Matt. And then Matt is simultaneously fighting off Bullseye, right? And Bullseye is like, what do I do? Like, I can't get... Matt keeps besting me. He keeps beating me, blah, 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 blah. And then he goes, I've got an idea. I'm going to go kill his friends. And then we go, oh, he's going to try and kill his friends. Like, then Matt's trying to stop him. But then eventually Foggy dies within 5 minutes. I mean, like, it's fast. And there's no sense of, like... Does it matter that we would have to have remembered everything that happened in the Netflix series, remembered that we loved Foggy, and then been like, oh, but it's so quick and so fast that you're just kind of like, oh, I guess we're moving on from that. Karen moves out of town. It's just too fast. Yeah, but to your point, it's too polished. It should be gritty, and it should matter to us more. And it would matter to us more if they had taken the time to kind of reconnect us to that space.
And they saddle us with a new girl that we kind of don't care about.
Yeah.
So let's get into the story beats now. So I'll say, you know what? Usually we do good and the bad. Let's do the bad first, or the story beats that we don't like first, and then we'll go to the new. So I'll say one thing that I don't like is how quickly we're saddled with the new young lady that is like his new law partner.
Right.
If we had a version kind of like what you were saying, where we got a chance to meet Foggy again, meet Karen, or even even situated where they had been apart for a while, so their awkwardness kind of naturally plays into the story, where it's like, oh, okay, cool, I went out to Philly for a little bit, I went back to such and such. Maybe we hear that Karen is semi reconnecting with her dad, and then they come back to New York for whatever, or maybe they hear like, yo, is Kingpin really trying to run for mayor? Like something like that, where they come back together, and then their awkwardness doesn't play so bad, and we can kind of get to know the new girl, because I don't hate her, but it's just like I don't really know you, and I guess you're cool. I mean, you're trying to hook him up, get him over Karen. I get it, you know what I'm saying, but I don't really care enough. Now, what I do care, well, you know what? I'll leave that for the good stuff.
Good part.
Yeah, that's one thing that I think is bad. I also think the swiftness of the girlfriend is. I think we need some more time to cook, but these episodes are not cheap, and they gotta rush you through it. But I think you could get through this. But we still get our fights that we want, some bone cracking action, but we can slow it down, because the new girlfriend, I'm just like, all right, she's here, But how about yourself?
No, I agree. Have you read the Daredevil Born Again comic?
Nah, I haven't read it.
It's bonkers, dude. It is so dark. It is one of the most dark comic.
Isn't Born Again what leads into Man Without Fear? Is that the one?
I think you're right.
I'll have to look. Someone in the comments let us know if Born Again leads to Man Without Fear. I think it does, but I might be wrong.
That sounds familiar to me. But it's just a really dark. Just for like a recap, because I don't think we're going in the same direction with the show that we're going with the comics, so this shouldn't be a spoiler.
They'll probably cherry pick some small stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Karen does leave, but she goes to Hollywood to try and be an actress. She gets addicted to heroin. She sells Matt Murdock's secret identity to Kingpin. Kingpin then manipulates Daredevil to be to get him to his lowest point in history. And then it's just a weird story. It's a strange story. It's not what you're expecting.
I already want this. All right, peep this. All right, so peep this. We come back. And we come back. These friends have been apart from each other for a while. Karen has been in Hollywood, but we find out that Karen, she been on that stuff. Now, at the end of episode 2, when she sells Matt's identity, we find out through the grapevine, Kingpin got her hooked in the first place to get her to her lowest point, to then have to sell Matt Murdock. Yo, that ought to be like, yo,
that's crazy. Yeah.
So because Kingpin is always doing something.
Yeah, he's always.
I do like the cop that was like, I don't believe you.
Yeah, that was good.
But sorry, but on the bad side, side.
Yeah. So here's the other thing that I think is a little bit on the bad side. I'm gonna make a prediction about what they're going to do, and say why I don't like it. I think that what they're trying to connect to is that Kingpin is his best, baddest self when he has Vanessa as his influence. And because he was disconnected from Vanessa for so long,
he got soft.
He got soft, and Vanessa's cheating on him.
Vanessa didn't like it.
Exactly. She's like, I don't even like this guy. He's not the guy that I really enjoyed, and he's gonna have to get back up to being that guy. Here's why I don't like that, because I feel like we start off in a place where it's almost kind of like nobody's likable. Everybody's in a place that we don't really like them to be. And you're just picking off characters that we really like. Now, you could do that in a way that makes me feel a thing and go, oh my gosh, I can't believe this. I'm really rooting for them. Can we please get that character back to this place? However, what I feel like would be stronger is if Kingpin is pretending to be soft and he's not soft, and we get little glimpses of it here and there. Or again, Karen's trying, like you said, Karen's trying to keep it together, like she's not addicted to a substance and in a problem, but she is, right?
And even Matt can hear differences in her heart rate, but he's like, she's not lying.
Exactly.
But something's not, this isn't how her heart usually sounds when she's telling the truth.
That's
like
it.
what is, maybe it's some small thing that she's hiding, but she's not lying to me. Something's just off about her.
Yeah.
Like she doesn't smell right, she doesn't smell like she usually smells. Like, but then he might be like, well, she's also been this Hollywood stuff and this foo mess. Maybe she's vegan now, maybe. Who knows?
Exactly.
But it's like, it's like she's just, I don't know, something's wrong. Her heart doesn't beat the same, she doesn't smell the same, something's, I don't know.
Yep.
So I don't know. So yeah, I feel you on that.
Yeah.
Another thing I don't like, White Tiger. That outfit,
dude.
Man, look,
I agree.
take it
dude.
back to Party City.
Yeah.
Take it back. Take it back. Yep.
Yeah.
You
That
can't.
was rough.
People with day jobs can't be creating better cosplay for the weekend convention than you have with millions of dollars in endowment Disney. Come on now. We just we can't do that. We can't do it.
Well, especially
We just
when
can't have it.
like Daredevil. Remember Daredevil season 1 where he hadn't built his costume yet, but he was like wrapping
The
stuff around his
do-rag Daredevil.
Yeah. That was still cool. Like they still managed to make that like, okay, cool. I could see a guy doing that, and I could roll with that. Like it looks like something that's kind of cool. But this looked like, Party City is really funny.
Yeah,
I like that description.
I would have preferred him to have like maybe like a white shirt and maybe like or like maybe just a white biker jacket and a white helmet with like maybe like black tiger marks or something that maybe something homemade looking, because that looks. It looks like it's a costume, but it's like it looks like you ordered it from Amazon. It doesn't look like someone made a suit for you. You know what I'm saying?
Not to mention that guy when he's fighting in the subway when he's not wearing the costume.
Oh yeah.
He's doing like jujitsu moves and but then when you see the guy in the costume, it kind of looks like too Stay Puft Marshmallowy, right? So and he's not doing any of the jujitsu moves where it's like sleek and fast, and he's doing these kind of like kicks and stuff, and it just
are very showy, like very showy kicks.
Yeah, it didn't make sense. It didn't make sense with the fights in the first episode do not feel like Daredevil fights.
No.
The fights in the second episode actually do feel like Daredevil fights. It's like, okay, well, you got back to where we wanted to be. But the fights in the first episode just they were not it.
Mm-hmm. And I don't know who's the choreographer. I'm gonna have to look up and see what he or she has done prior. But with movies like The Raid and The Raid 2, there's no excuse to not have hard hitting. Whoever did like Ong Bak, like. Fine, those people are like, just get them. What like, you have the money? Like, don't y'all have phones, right? Call those people and just get it done. Like, what?
Absolutely.
I sound like the CEO or something. I sound like the CEO. Like, get it done. Like, why am I watching this? What is this?
Exactly.
They were just like, look, Daredevil, people are gonna love it. It's gonna come back. And there are parts that I do love, but another part that I do not love.
Yeah.
The marriage thing, I don't care.
Yeah.
Now, there is something to be had with the contentious nature of Vanessa and Wilson, even in the comics. But the whole like Wilson sitting on a couch looking you looking like a sucker, bruh. Nah, you can't do that. You gotta get off that couch. Now hold up. There's nothing wrong with marriage counseling.
Right.
Unless you're Kingpin.
Yeah.
If you're Kingpin, you don't, man, come on, man.
Yeah. Well, in that case, not only that, but this Kingpin seems like he would go to marriage counseling, but then why would Vanessa go with him? Like, because if Vanessa's so if I'm right and Vanessa's trying to toughen up Kingpin to be more like what she used to like about him, right? What makes her think that going to a therapist is going to get him to that place? That doesn't really make sense, right? It feels like she would be more likely to be like, I'm going to keep poking the bear. I'm going to keep doing things that are going to make him mad and see if I can snap him back into his former self. Like she even kind of dares him not pun not intended. She
Yeah.
dares him to be about like when he says like I know about the guy you're cheating on me with, and she's like, please don't kill him. And it's kind of like, I kind of want you to kill him. It's kind of what it felt like to me.
What would have been awesome is if he like maybe grabbed her close into a hug or whatever. And he whispered like, honey, he's already dead.
Exactly.
What are you talking about? Like this. All right, now I know we're not supposed to talk like this, but this is Kingpin. All right, this is Kingpin. Don't this ain't NERDSoul. This is Kingpin. He's like, this is mine.
Yeah.
This is mine.
Yeah.
Like my flag is on this. Now I don't care anybody before I got here, fine, but this mine. It's gonna be mine till I decide it ain't mine. So, but that's Kingpin. All right, that ain't NERDSoul. NERDSoul don't say that. All right, that's registered trademark of Kingpin. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I totally agree with you on that assessment.
Like, you soft, man.
I was kind of shocked that they were going into counseling at the last. You know what? One of the actors, the kid who is the assistant to Kingpin's campaign lady, is James Gandolfini's son, I believe.
Oh, really?
I believe so, because he has Gandolfini's name on. And he kind of looks like him. I mean, fact check me on that, but I'm pretty sure it's him.
Yeah.
So it's almost like, are they trying to do like a Sopranos style gangsters going to counseling kind of show? And if so, like, are they being a little bit too on the nose with it? Like, I just don't know. I feel like it's I agree with you. That storyline did not resonate with me either. It doesn't seem like their characters would put themselves in that.
It also seems like this is going to be something that they run for a long time because they think this is what we want to see. Like,
yeah,
I don't think that's what we want to see.
No.
I don't have to take a poll to be like, hey guys, when Daredevil Born Again comes back, do you want to see Kingpin in marriage counseling?
Yeah.
I'm almost absolutely certain it's going to be a resounding no. Put out that poll, it's going to be like 99.9 repeating decimal no.
Yeah.
It's going to be like super no's out there. But you know what? I ain't gonna do that. I ain't gonna do y'all like that. We're gonna go with the good. One thing that is a side story, and I think is great, which I think is awesome, is the journalist girl. Especially if they reveal that the journalist girl knows that Kingpin killed her uncle. If that, I'm like, yes, because it's a small thing. That once he was like, oh, you know, Ben Urich, you know, I knew him, and the way she looked kind of uneasy, I'm like, I wonder if she knows.
Yeah.
And if she does know, that makes my interest in her higher, greater, more intense than it ever could have been with just like, oh, I'm like the street blogger kind of person. I'm the person in New York that's kind of doing the street news. If she is related to Ben, and her somehow knowing, maybe Ben wrote it or maybe Ben filmed it and Kingpin didn't know or something like that, that changes the game. Like that. Yeah. So that is something that I do like. But what about yourself? What's something that you actually, let's being good. What's something that you do like about this?
One more thing that I'm not sure whether or not it's working or not before I go to the good.
All right.
I feel like the Kingpin running for mayor / Trump running for president is a little bit too on the nose. Because and it's because, now granted, there are some things that don't match up, right? Like it kind of feels like Kingpin is like against the police, and you know, Trump talks up a big game about being for the police, but like they have the hats that say Fist can fix it, very similar to a MAGA hat, just different colors. You know what?
I didn't even think about that, because when they had Fist being the mayor, I was thinking, oh, they're gonna go the Devil's Reign kind of route. even though we don't have everybody for Devil's Reign, but I mean, you could still do it with a smaller cast. But
Yeah.
I was thinking, oh, it's going to be Devil's Reign. He's going to go out there. He's going to say no superheroes. And I mean, we do have Miss Marvel. We got Miss Marvel. We got
Yeah.
we do technically have Wolverine. We do technically have Captain America. But I mean, they're not going to be in this. I doubt it. But I
we
mean,
probably will get Punisher because we got that little preview with that guy.
Yeah,
The guy on his
yeah.
wrist had the tattoo of Punisher or whatever.
Yeah.
So we'll probably get Punisher. It'd be crazy if they got Spider-Man because they mentioned him
Yeah,
in.
they do.
They did mention him as a character, so that would be really fascinating. But yeah, that
Oh.
like, go ahead.
Why are they doing the weird thing where they don't mention them outright? Like, this isn't Netflix. Like, you don't have to say the spider guy or whatever. Now,
Right.
maybe it's a situation where like Kingpin is like, I don't know these people, just whoever they are.
Yeah,
But he knows the Punisher. Remember, you tried to have him killed and it
Right.
didn't work, and he almost killed you.
Yeah,
The only thing that saved you, Kingpin, is that you got him out of jail. That's the only thing that saved you.
Yeah.
Because he was about to come for you for real.
Yeah, totally.
Which is a great episode, or I guess a great collection of episodes.
Yeah.
But yeah, the whole like some spider or whatever. I'm like, what? Like, just
yeah.
say his name. Like you back
It's
at
only
home.
Avengers now,
This is-
man.
Yeah,
What is he gonna do?
you're back at home. You don't have to do that.
Exactly.
Netflix. It's not Netflix, baby.
But I do like Kingpin as the mayor. I do like that a
Yeah.
lot. I don't think you need to be make Kingpin be the Kingpin guy without inserting a little bit of like, oh, it's kind of like what we're experiencing now, isn't it? Like, I just
Yeah.
feel like that is, for one, it limits the audience to thinking about this in a here and now context. In other words, 20 years from now, we'll be like, I don't even remember what that was about. Like, what is he talking about? You
Yeah.
know, like, so it kind of limits your scope of what you're doing. But it also just makes us. It also, what I don't like is it makes me think, like, are you trying to suggest that I should think about the attributes of his character like a real life person's attributes, or does Kingpin exist as his own character and we don't need to put like someone else's attributes?
Yeah, we don't have
on
to
him?
like. Yeah.
Yeah.
And also, look, I'm going to do this. I don't care about anybody saying anything's political. Comics have always been political. Everything is political. But let's keep it real. Every president has been a criminal.
Yeah.
Full stop.
True.
Every criminal has done something that was against the law.
Yeah.
Probably every vice president too. Let it go. Just let it go.
Yep.
All of them bad. Let it go.
Amen.
Let
Amen,
it go.
brother.
Now,
That is right.
am I happy about it? No, but it's just what it is. It's just what it is, y'all. There's no magical president out there that wasn't a criminal. I know I'm probably hurting one of y'all feelings. Like, oh no, Martin Van Buren was no, no, they were all criminal, all of them,
Yeah.
all of them. Just
Yeah,
none of them
true.
were worth a hill of beans, as the old people. So-
Exactly.
So this
So that was the last thing I
idea-
didn't like. That was the last thing I was like,
Like let
you don't
the
need
Trump
that.
thing go. I don't
Yeah.
let it go.
It's a point in time. Anyway, whatever.
Yeah,
So,
it's
what I
kinda-
did like. Okay.
I don't know if it's gonna last, but yeah, what did you
Yeah.
like?
Yeah. So what I did like is I thought Vanessa's character was great. And the fact that she had improved his empire, I thought was
Yeah.
cool. And she was very respected. Although I did think it was kind of interesting that when Kingpin enters the room, all the guys actually got more scared. All the guys around the table
Yeah.
got like more like, oh, whoa, he's here. Like, what's going to go down? But I do like that she took over the business and did a really good job with the business. Even though I don't like her going to therapy, I still like her character up until that point. I think she's great. I kind of like the fact that the former lawyer who's like now, or former detective, I guess, who's now a private eye and working with Matt Murdock. I kind of like that aspect of it, where like Matt's not doing some of the stuff; he's just having somebody else go do some of that stuff. I think that's kind of cool.
Yeah, and that means that the lady in the bar was right. Like, you didn't really retire.
Yeah,
Now, at
totally.
the same time, you do keep your own hours. Like that is a big difference.
That's right.
You know, you keep your own hours. So, but I mean, you're still doing the same thing.
Yeah, exactly. I liked the pacing of episode 2 more than I liked the pacing of episode 1.
Definitely.
The whole bullseye thing just threw me off. Like even the trial and how fast the trial went.
I was like, didn't we deal with this?
Yeah.
Like, did we put this to bed? Because I thought we did. And if we didn't, the way season 3 ended, how are like okay.
Yeah, exactly. I did like from the episode 1. I did like the interaction between Matt and Fisk at the diner table.
Oh yeah,
that was a good scene. That was a good scene. I like that. I think it kind of showcased how there's still tension between them, but they both feel like they're changed men, so to speak.
They're like, you know what? It's almost kind of like a what's done is done thing. Yeah. And like he said, if you change for real, fine.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Exactly.
Because you went, you served your time.
Yep.
Fine. If you, but if you didn't change,
yeah.
And Kingpin was also almost like, so what you gonna do? So I do like that. I will say I do like that. I'm hopeful on that one, and that scene did come through for me. But that's also the scene where he like referenced random, you know, like Spider Guy and stuff like that. So.
Yeah. It was that was a drawback. Pacing of episode 2 way better.
Yes.
I well, with one exception, I think you're 100% right in like that he starts dating this person was real fast. That was a little bit too fast. It felt like it could have been slowed down a little bit more. And then I think that there's good tension with like what's going to happen to Karen, especially as somebody who's read the comic and knows what happens to Karen in the comic. Like that's actually very intriguing. It's like, what are they going to do with Karen? Is Karen going to get into really big trouble so that again, Kingpin can kind of manipulate Daredevil in a way that like takes him down a notch? And I really liked the end scene where he fights the two guys. We see the tattoo of the Punisher, and all indications are that he killed those two guys, to be honest. Like, I don't know if he did, but like we weren't hearing heartbeats or anything. You know what I mean? Like, and those guys took some heavy hits.
To a certain degree, all right, let's talk about this.
Yeah.
Did he kill them? Like, are the cops dead? And if so, are we mad at Daredevil for that? Because I know the hero he's supposed to be, and we know the whole vibe between him and Punisher in season 2.
Yep.
Maybe that's what happens with Punisher's introduction. Maybe he comes in and he's like, "Hey, Red, like this is my territory. Like, you know, you supposed to be firmly over there, right. But also they had a gun to this guy's head. What is he supposed to do?" Exactly. But guns have been held to him before. The only thing is he had a mask on. What is he supposed to do when he's like, "Hey, oh, I'm a lawyer, but I'm also a kung fu master, like,
and I'm blind. Like, come on,
and I'm blind."
Like
that's. I mean, maybe he could play it off in a way where, you know, he's basically letting them tell the story and saying like this was highly, you know, it did not happen like that. Like, you know, they beat me down. I accidentally maybe if he played it off more in a drunken master style where he kind of like fell around and made them hurt themselves and kind of like ran out. But no, he turned into super like elite mode. You can't play that off.
No.
Someone's going to be like, hold on, this lawyer is like, I don't know, an ex-military like karate master or something.
Yeah. Well, and this is, so in defense of him maybe killing them, so if the story is going to go in the same direction the comic does, where Daredevil basically starts to lose his mind because his life is falling apart. The last time he fought anybody, he thought he killed Bullseye.
Yeah.
So it's not like he dealt with that anger well. We know that from the Karen scene where they talk to each other and he like abandoned Karen. So we know he didn't deal with his anger very well. And now he's back in a place where he's fighting for the first time since he threw Bullseye off the roof, right? So in that regard, I can see him being overly aggressive, particularly if he's trying to protect another vigilante, when Kingpin is coming down on all of them, and he's like, getting more defensive or whatever.
That whole Devil's Reign kind of thing, I think is going to come down. I think it's going to come down hard. The only thing is, how impactful will that storyline be when we only really have Daredevil there? I mean, Punisher's there, but he's not masked. He's still a vigilante, but he's, by all accounts, for right now, he's been cleared of everything. Yeah. He did the CIA and the FBI and whoever a solid, so he's technically clean, as long as he don't do nothing new.
Yeah,
because they kind of tidied up the season 2, and they tied it up with a bow. Madani's she's cool. Everybody's cool. Everybody's gonna act like nothing happened. Right. Like, so I don't know how impactful it'll be, but we'll see. We do have White Tiger, who I'm just like, okay.
Better out of costume than in costume, for sure.
We mentioned Spider-Man. If we get Spider-Man in this, even in the suit, like say Tom Holland's doesn't show up, he just lends his voice and he's in the suit, kudos.
Yeah, pretty cool.
Because of course with this you could have a guy in the suit, have Tom Holland do the vocals from Canada or Britain or wherever he's at. He could just come in the suit, nod his head like a Power Ranger, and then we can all be happy with Spider-Man and Daredevil teaming up for a second.
100%.
That would be cool.
Yeah.
But with just White Tiger, we don't know him enough. We don't care enough.
Yeah.
I think we might grow to care over the season, because we do kind of we're seeing this guy get railroaded, and unlike the cop.
Yeah.
But we're seeing him get railroaded right now. His wife is just like, I don't want to have nothing to do with it.
Yeah.
And he's kind of being hung out to dry. So maybe we'll get to know him, like him, all that stuff later on.
Yeah.
But right now it's just like, he's a guy.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I care. Like, I think it's a messed up situation he's in, but hopefully we'll get more about him emotionally, that we're like, we want him to win. Because right now it's just like, it's a guy that was done wrong, but everybody's done wrong in this show.
Right. Oh yeah, great point. Yeah. I think I also think I know we're supposed to be on the good parts of this, but I also thought that the lore around the amulet, like, we've never seen White Tiger before. We don't know anything about the amulet. There's not even like a close-up shot of the amulet in the CCTV footage of him fighting and stuff. Like, so the fact that they're like, oh, I found an amulet, he must be White Tiger. It's kind of like, whoa, like, you just threw that on us as if we would know what that meant. And like,
because
I guess
he was like, I didn't even have the amulet, so
yeah, exactly. And then
he said that like. Yeah, go ahead. I'm trying to. I guess he said that like we all know about the amulet.
Correct.
But maybe they did that as something that, hey, we're going to explain this in episode 4.
I hope so, yeah. Because I mean, what's his name? The private detective, found the amulet in his room or whatever when he was.
I thought he just found the suit. I didn't know the amulet was with the suit.
Well, I think I thought there was like a quick shot of like the silver like looking thing.
Yeah, you're probably right.
I thought that was the amulet, but maybe not. So I would like to know more about. Okay, so if I rewind a little bit, and as we're talking, one of the things I'm realizing is that there's a storytelling technique called in media res, which means like you just in the middle of things, you just throw us into something, and we're just like watching it. I feel like I've been thrown into the middle of something that I need maybe a little bit more information about. Yeah. Like, in other words, I'm thrown into the middle of it, but I don't really have the component because there's like have you seen Paradise at all? The new show Paradise?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm not caught up because I'm trying to watch it with my wife, so I've only seen like the first 3 episodes.
All good.
But,
All good.
hey, everybody, y'all all know the struggle. You know, you're trying to watch something with your wife. She starts falling off. Yeah, I said it. She starts falling off, and she won't let you finish the show.
It's true. It happens. Well, in that show, in the first 3 episodes, though, I'm not going to spoil anything. They throw you into it.
Yeah.
They throw
and then
you
at the end of the
right
first
into
episode,
it.
you're like, hold up, what?
Yeah. What happened? But
What?
that's done well because you're not missing any. I mean, you're missing a lot of context that you need to understand fully what's going on, but you're not like. So, for example, let me put it this way: the characters in Paradise in episode 1, there's this crazy thing that happens. They're all reacting to it. They either do know what's happened or don't know what's happened, but you're sort of walking alongside them as they figure things out. So it feels comfortable. Yeah. In this first Daredevil episode, it's kind of like, I don't know if they know what's going on. I don't know what's going on. I'm not sure that anybody knows what's going on. It's just happening. And that's the difference. Is like, it feels like it's just a little bit too chaotic. And when there's no grounding things to say, oh, it's cool. If I follow Matt Murdock around, I'll totally understand why he was doing this with Bullseye. Oh, okay, cool. If I follow Karen around, I'll understand what her perspective is. There's nothing to ground us into a perspective and go like, the only person that maybe knows all of what's going on and has like a perspective we could trust is Vanessa, to be honest. She's the only one that feels grounded and like knows what all's going on. And so
I mean, I guess we can trust her perspective, but we can't trust her.
Totally. So that's what's a little bit like discombobulating. So I feel like it almost feels to me like it would have been more interesting to start out with Bullseye killing Foggy, and then that kicks off Kingpin's like, now we need to go crush the vigilantes. And then we're sort of grounded in like, okay, I understand his perspective. I understand why he wants to do that. But then maybe later on we learn that he actually hired Bullseye to do this, right? Or whatever. Like, but there's something that would say like, okay, that's all a part of this same story. It kind of just feels like that was a random event that happened to happen, and it's not related to anything else that's coming. So maybe we'll learn more. Maybe it'll be better. But it's just a little bit of
because Bullseye did kind of go off the reservation from Kingpin at the end of season 3. So I can see that happening without him really knowing, but being like, you know, I don't care. You know, I didn't like those people anyway, you know?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll give a good thing. Here's a good thing.
Yes.
Kingpin fixing the hole in the ground. I think we should see more of Kingpin doing that, and then juxtapose with him in the back rooms showing pictures of people's, you know, side kids and stuff. So Kingpin being kind of like the you know, the man of the people. But I would like to see a show where blackmail doesn't always work. The guy's retiring. I don't care. Like, you're not ruining my career.
Totally.
So tell him about the extra kid. I don't care.
That's a great point.
Like, you're not ruining my career. I've already retired. So like, it's not like, so who cares if I have an extra kid now? It's not the disgraced commissioner. No, I'm already gone. So people will probably speculate for a good week or so, like, oh, he probably retired because he knew this was coming out. But, you know, look, the way the news cycle is now, trust me, something crazy will happen. Don't forget all about my extra kid.
That's so true.
I mean, it's true. It's the crazy stuff that happens in the world now. Like, nobody's caring about this commissioner's extra kid. So they're not. Like, be honest.
Yeah, that's a really good point.
If you in your town, like, no matter where you live, if you live in, you know, Alabama, you live in Colorado, you live in Texas, you live in, you know, Montana, you know, Pennsylvania, if we found out that the commissioner had an extra kid somewhere, would traffic come to a halt, or would people be like, oh, dag, dude was on the low. Now that pretty much be it.
Yeah, pretty much.
Like,
Yeah, that's a really good point.
like you're you're not getting fired for that, for having an extra
No.
kid. Like that's
Maybe
not, I
in
mean,
like the 1950s, right?
yeah,
Or the 1960s or something. You could argue that that could happen when
yeah, but now
the morality
like
was
people
different.
be
But
cheating
yeah,
like they ain't got no sense. Like folks
no.
ain't got no morals no more. I mean,
Yeah.
they should, but they ain't. So
Look at all the stuff that comes out about politicians as it is, and we're all kind of like,
yeah.
all right.
And we're just like, we're like,
They all
yeah,
suck.
yeah. It's like, yeah. I mean, I figure something's going on because their son, who has like no qualifications, magically got a job at this company. Like, yeah, this company was giving them money. We knew that.
Exactly.
Like, okay, there is a reason that Joe Biden pardoned his son for anything he's done for like 10 years. Bruh, that's the illest pardon I've ever heard about in my life. Like, bruh, imagine somebody be like, I don't care what you did for like a span of 10 years of your life. He definitely did something. But we also know, yeah,
Yeah.
we know he did something. Now, we might not know what he did, but yeah, he did something. Like,
100%.
he's a politician's son who was on the rise in the 90s and then became a vice president. You know, he felt like he was. There's people who are sons of like the local judge that feel like they're untouchable.
Yeah.
You know, his son feels like he's untouchable. Come on, man.
100%.
Like,
100%. Yeah. Come on.
come on. So, I don't know. I would like to see a blackmail plot fall. At least once. At least once. And maybe you guys have one for me in the comments, be like, oh, watch this movie. They try it and they just laugh in their face or something like that. But most of the time I see these I'm like, so call their bluff. Like, put it out.
Yeah.
I'm retiring.
Or at least show us that there's another implication. Like, for example, show us that like the police commissioner. The police commissioner's wife is on the focus on the family, like blog or something like that, right? And then it's like, my marriage will be completely garbage if this is revealed. Something to kind of
like his whole identity is built on like the family man. Then I guess I could, I could see you on that one. Then
yeah.
Like, your whole identity, everything. You even have like books and stuff about like how you're the family guy. Like then it's like, oh, okay, whoa, all right, maybe I might need you, but just have an extra kid. Like,
Did we talked about Penguin, didn't we? Did we talk about Penguin?
Yeah, we did talk about Penguin.
Yeah, because I love Penguin. We both love Penguin. Penguin was amazing. Yeah,
Penguin may be one of the top maybe 2-3 comic book shows, at least live action.
Totally.
Period. Like that show took a character that I have never cared about and like made a compelling show.
Yeah.
Like they don't have to do anything else. That one season is like golden.
Yeah.
But yeah, here that's something where I see it coming together. I think episode 2 is way better than episode 1. But it almost, I don't know. I'm gonna need these threads to start coming together, like or make it matter a little bit more, because I don't really care about the law firm. I don't really care about the new girl or the new girlfriend. Now I do care about that new kid if she knows that Kingpin killed her uncle, or or maybe if she knows her uncle was killed by somebody linked to Kingpin, then I'm definitely into that. That this show definitely not on Penguin's level.
No, and that was my thing, is that the pacing of Penguin was almost like ideal, right? Like it wasn't too fast. They really did flesh out all of the different storylines that they were trying to, converge and deal with. Like it gave space to all of those characters and all of their motivations and everything that was going on. I mean, it was done like a traditional HBO show, like The Wire, or like these awesome pieces of television that have come out in the past. I feel like this needs to. I feel like Daredevil needs to pick a lane a little bit. Like, are you going to be a little bit more action oriented, like the Netflix series was? The Netflix series, what made it awesome was that it was brutal fights, realistic fights. I mean, realistic within the but also these kind of like big ideas about like how should I behave and what's acceptable behavior and what's not acceptable behavior. And that was like really focused in on Matt Murdock's character. Like every time he would
especially around his religion as well.
Exactly. And that's what made it interesting to me. It was like, oh, here's a guy who is trying to do the right thing, doesn't know what the right thing always is, knows what the wrong thing is, and like flirts with that sometimes.
Definitely.
But like, so that was interesting to me. It was like, this guy's really kind of tortured in his crime fighting, you know? This is not to that level. It feels still like it's kind of, this is why I say it feels like an MCU show, not a Netflix show, and which you and I are huge fans of the Netflix shows. Because the MCU shows, they kind of just do this thing where they're like, we're just an entertaining show, and like, don't worry about it. We're not going to get too deep.
We have a couple where, like, you have Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I'll kind of give it to Hawkeye. I do like Hawkeye more than I dislike it.
Same.
And then I like Miss Marvel, but Miss Marvel is more of a, I guess you could say, like young adult show, kind of like teen, totally. Kind of, but
almost like a sitcom.
I like it because it's a fun show.
Yes.
But after that, it's kind of tough. Like, I mean, Secret Invasion.
Oh, I watched one episode, dude. Man. I couldn't keep watching it.
Wow. So, because Secret Invasion should have been a whole phase.
Yeah.
But that's this. Let that go. So.
Yeah.
There's shows. I guess it's because they went in saying, look, we just need shows.
Yeah.
Just need shows.
Exactly.
And just get them out there.
Yeah.
Instead of probably what they should have done is, like I said about the Werewolf by Night. I'm like, we need more of these. Now they're finally going to give Punisher one. But I'm like, when that happened, I said, okay, here's your door. Here's your wide open door for the supernatural side. And they did nothing about it. So they're like, this is real cool. Well, I guess we won't do this anymore.
Did you watch Agent Carter, the show?
Yes. Agent Carter is a show that was a roller coaster for me.
Yes.
It was some good stuff. I was like, oh, okay, I like this. I like the addition of this, like this lore. And then I was just like, yeah, this is ABC doesn't have the money.
Exactly. So it was, for me, it was more of like for me, it was more like bungee jumping. It wasn't a roller coaster. It didn't go up and down. It did. Season 1, I loved. Season 2, like horrible. It was, and I feel like these 2 episodes of Daredevil are fighting between those 2 seasons. Like, are we going to be more like Peggy Carter season 1 or Agent Carter season 1, or are we going to be more like season 2? And season 2 felt cheesy and like the first fight. That felt like a season 2 of Agent Carter kind of situation. But then the fight from episode 2 at the end of episode 2, that feels like a season 1 of Agent Carter. So it feels like it's trying to like still figure itself out.
Yeah, similar to the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah.
Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. really only has one good season. I know y'all gonna come in here and be mad at me, but I reviewed the show. I sat through all the episodes. The only good season that they have is the Ghost Rider LMD season. That's it. The rest of it is come on. I mean, you were there. You remember it. Come on. It was rough. Like episode 1 and 2 were great, and then episode 3 through like 6 are snooze fest. Then episode 7 is like, oh man, this is an interesting character drama. And then episode 8 and 9 are bad. Then 10 through 13 are great, and then it's like, come on. Come on. But they were also in that network formula where like you have to have like 24 26 episodes, and it didn't always work for them.
That's rough.
So I guess I'll throw it to you on final thoughts.
Okay.
And where can they find you?
Okay, final thoughts. I'm very intrigued. Like I know that it sounds like I'm coming off as more negative than positive. It's really more that I'm coming off as like confused about what this show is and what it's all about. It's not that I'm negative. I'm not negative. I actually am looking forward to episode 3. I love these characters. I love the Netflix Daredevil. It's just kind of like, are you gonna give me that, or are you gonna give me something else and pretend that it was that? I'm still positive, but I'm concerned. So we'll see where it goes. But we have Andor coming up too, and I think Andor's going to be fire. So,
but I don't know. This is why Andor might not be fire.
Okay, let me hear it.
Because in that trailer, they were stomping too hard on that trailer.
That's
Emmy nominated. Everybody loved us from the show that you love, from the show that everybody in the world loved. We coming back. And so I'm like, okay, look, you did a good one. All right, pump the brakes just in case. But I am expecting them to be good. You know what I'm saying? Because they've had enough time. Because there was a point where I was like, where's season 2?
And season 1 was so good too, right? Season 1 was awesome. I love season 1. But anyway, so we do have other shows coming up. If this isn't good, then maybe we'll have some more good content coming out. But I'm still looking forward to it, and I'm looking forward to talking about it some more with you. So we'll have fun. Even if the show's not good, we'll have fun.
What was the show that we were watching that we basically rewrote? Was it?
Acolyte, dude.
Acolyte.
Yeah, dude.
We were basically just rewriting the show every week.
I know.
We're like, well, if they would have done this and then this and this character came in at this time, so basically it was just a writer's meetup. So,
it was. It totally was. Yeah, we were reacting.
There's a lot of times where people are like, "Oh, it's so hard to be a writer." It's like, no, when you and your friends would like hang out in the parking lot after a movie and like imagine the sequel, that you're writing. That's how. Don't let Hollywood fool you. What happens is they get together in a room, they start tossing around ideas. It's like they're just kicking around stuff, and then they start solidifying things as they go along. There's no magic thing. I mean, look at J.J. Abrams and the Star Wars stuff. They came out and admitted that they spent billions of dollars with no plan. They're not magical. They're not smarter than you. They're not smarter than you. They're not magical. Look at how it looks like DCU is about to fall apart again. Like they're not doing anything magical over there. They're doing the same thing you and your friends do when y'all get together and start imagining stuff. Just start writing it down. Then put it on Amazon and make some money. And then maybe it'll get picked up.
That is a good segue, because where you can find me is at How Stories Work with Jay Shear, which is basically me attempting to learn how to be a better storyteller, a better writer, a better director now as well. And I'm just going into deep dives about all kinds of stuff. So the latest one was about the introduction of Indiana Jones, and then even just the first time he uses his whip, and like how that kind of is shot by Spielberg, and how he chooses different shots, and how the editor chooses different shots. So that's what I'm doing over at How Stories Work with Jay Shear. You can follow me over there if you want to learn more about storytelling and filmmaking. Go check it out. Cool.
For me, final thoughts. I'm gonna stick around because they ended that second episode very well. And it also seems like there's a huge difference between episode 1 and 2. Almost like episode 1 was like the pilot, and episode 2 is like, okay, cool. Agreed. We kind of know. We watched the Netflix stuff enough. Okay, we kind of got an idea, or people have been on set long enough to start feeling comfortable back in their roles again. Because it has been 10 years. Mm-hmm. How long has it been? Let me see. How long has it been since the season 3 of Daredevil?
I'm gonna guess 2016 was season 3. We'll see if I'm right.
Yeah, Daredevil. Let's see. Let's look. Season 3. That, when did it premiere? It's not telling me the premiere. It's trying to tell me like about the show. I'm like, when did first episode? Well, sorry, the first episode of the show period was in 2015.
Oh, really? So season.
So was that season 3 or the whole show?
That's a good question.
I'm gonna have to look up. See, Wikipedia. We got the season 3.
Okay, so this says on IMDb, it says 2015 through 2018.
Yeah.
So first season was That's
The
crazy. 2015.
13th episode
That
was
is 10 years ago. It just feels like yesterday, to be honest with you.
yeah, because season 3 ended in 2018, so that's
Yeah.
semi recent, but that's still we're coming up on what 7 years now. So
Yeah, that's crazy.
so yeah, look,
Dude, pandemic time
y'all
doesn't
getting
even
old,
count.
not me.
Yeah.
I know you see this. No, 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 no. I do that on purpose. That's hair color. All right. but yeah, so 2018, if maybe they've been on set long enough to kind of start feeling comfortable in their roles again, because episode 2 is way better than episode 1, and the way they ended it, I don't think you can hand wave that ending.
Yeah, exactly.
Something, you got 2 dead cops.
Implications. Yep.
In
and
this
one
guy's
of them is working
in
for
this
Punisher.
guy's hotel.
Maybe.
I mean, in this guy's apartment.
Yeah.
And
Totally.
they're following. They're like, I guess, Punisher zealots.
Yep.
Who I'm pretty sure Punisher is going to come in and let them know calmly and softly that is not how he wants to be represented.
He's gonna sit them down in a safe space and have a good conversation.
All right, everyone. I don't want to be, but yeah. So I'm in it. As long as they keep going up, I'm here for it. So
Same.
episode 1, y'all were super rocky. But episode 2, I feel like y'all pulled it together more. Don't know if I care about White Tiger. Don't know if we have enough heroes for a vigilante crackdown to matter. But we'll see who they bring in or who they cameo, and that might change the game. So with that said, NERD, SOUL, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, podcast, all that jazz. Until the next time, this is us telling you first, always use the peephole. Always use the peephole, but not before standing like beside your door and being like, who is it? And then see if they shoot through the door, because you never know if that's going to happen. But until the next time, peace.